All right, I'll start letting people in.
Okay.
Let's see here. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Great to see you all once again. And Steve, what is your preference for questions? Do you like to do it during special sections, or should I bring those in as they come?
Well, I've split this up into 3 parts. So I was thinking we could, like hold the questions till the end of each part.
Okay.
And, that way we won't get too far from the topic before people ask questions.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds good. All right. All right, so looks like mostly we still got people trying to enter. Are you? Is it possible for you to minimize your presentation for a minute?
Okay. Yeah, I think.
Just want to make sure. Continue to let people in here. Yeah, how do I? Oh, there we go. Oh, I see. Somebody's in the waiting room, but they're joining. Okay, that's good. Okay, cool. I will start. I'll give a little bit of intro, and then we can get started. Sound good?
Sounds good.
All right, awesome. Well, we're live on Facebook and YouTube at the moment, and we'll sign off there in about 15 minutes. But we're also live for Radio Hour attendees. For anybody who wanted to join Radio Hour for free, as they typically do on Saturdays, this is when we would have Radio Hour. So we offered an option that we've linked you to a special page where you can view the full first hour of Steve Brady's lecture here on dampers. Unfortunately, we'll cut you off at about an hour there. But if you did want to register for the convention, you can join us for the recordings of all the lectures and so on and so forth. There'll be a link on that page where you're viewing. And in the meantime, we'll get started here with the Zoom session. And I'll give a quick intro to our friend Steve Brady. And that will sound like this. Steve is an award-winning piano technician and respected PTG veteran. In 2012, he was included in the PTG Hall of Fame. In 2016, he was awarded the PTG's Golden Hammer Award, one of the profession's highest honors, for his contributions in the piano industry. He is author of Under the Lid, The Art and Craft of the Concert Piano Technician. He resides in Seattle, Washington. And in this class today, he's going to focus primarily on grand dampers. Title of the class is Dampers from the Ground Up. He does touch on upright damper replacement and regulation as well as earlier grand damper systems. For anyone confused about the wire bends and grand dampers, he'll discuss their purposes and adjustments in some detail and demonstrate how to align and space the dampers and troubleshoot dampers that aren't doing their job well. He knows damper work is mysterious to many technicians, but it's really simpler than you might think. He'll cover it from the ground up, step by step. And I will take this opportunity to hand it over to you, Steve, and just let me know whenever you need assistance with anything.
Okay.
Do you want to go full screen in the very beginning here?
Yeah, I do.
I can. Okay, let me take off your screen share real quick. Let's see here. Let these people in from the waiting room. And then how do I get your screen share? View options, stop participant sharing. Okay, and then I'll spotlight you so you can give your intro. There you go. You're on.
Great. Thank you, Ethan. Thanks for, setting up this whole convention. This is, I know it's a huge undertaking for you. And I've enjoyed the sessions I've been able to attend so far. I decided to do a class on dampers, which I've never done before. because it seems to me that damper work, along with voicing, maybe a few other things, these are areas where many technicians seem to lack confidence. And I had an experience last year that kind of spurred me to want to do this class. I was contacted by a local technician who he's a good technician, and he's been doing this about as long as I have. And he had a Steinway K52 that he had a real damping issue with in the low tenor. And if you know the K52, you know that the damping is so sketchy in that area that they often have auxiliary overdampers on a few notes there. Anyway, he had determined that the piano needed new damper felts in that area, and he asked me to come along and help him with it. And I went there loaded for bear. I mean, I brought all my damper tools and some damper felts and all kinds of stuff. Long story short, I got in and started troubleshooting it, and was able to fix the problem without replacing any damper felts in about 10 minutes. And I thought, well, that's interesting. I've never thought of myself as this, damper whiz, but maybe I do have something to share on it. I've learned a lot over the years. My background, I've been a piano technician for 47 years, and 25 of those years I spent at a university as a full-time tech. I've done about 5,000 concert tunings, and I also do rebuilding, but rebuilding is not my main thing. So why from the ground up? Because we're going to start with regulating the two pedals that involve the dampers. That would be the damper pedal and the sostenuto. So at this point, I'm going to share my screen. And
Okay.
There.
Looking good.
That look good?
Yeah. And if you want to go full screen, you can, or if you like that version, you can.
Yeah. Well, I kind of like this. If the picture is large,
okay.
Okay.
Looks okay. Yeah.
Okay. So, part 1A, regulating the damper pedal. Now, this seems like a pretty straightforward thing, and something that most of us do pretty much every day. But I want to get into some of the subtleties of how the damper pedal should be regulated. And the first thing is, if you're working on a vertical, you want to regulate the damper lift with the pedal first, and regulate the damper lift with the key second. So if you have dampers that aren't lifting evenly with the pedal, you want to take care of that first. And that's because we regulate the damper lift with the pedal on a vertical by bending the damper wires. So here's a little video. I'm going to reach in, and I have one that's lifting late here, and I'm just going to push it back towards the strings to make it lift a little later, or a little earlier. Oh, I guess I said that wrong. Okay, lifting early. So I'm going to push it back with my finger and make it lift later. Okay, now here's another look at the same process. That one's lifting too late, so I'm going to make it earlier by just sticking my finger down there and bringing the, bending the damper wire. You have to bend pretty hard, but it's a very simple procedure. I'll show that again. Okay, so the point here is that on a vertical, you've got to do this job before the lift with the keys, because you regulate lift with the keys by bending a spoon. And if you bend the spoon, it's also going to affect the lift with the pedal. So that's just an important point to consider on verticals. Now on grand pianos, you do it the opposite way. You regulate the damper lift with the keys first, and then regulate the damper lift with the pedal second. In both cases, I regulate the pedal, allowing up to 1/4 of an inch of lost motion in the pedal, measured at the front of the pedal. I wouldn't want more lost motion than that, but this is kind of a personal thing, and some pianists prefer a really instantaneous pickup, and some like to have quite a bit of play. But I think up to 1/4 of an inch, measured at the front, is a good way to go. On a grand piano, the right way to regulate lost motion in the pedal is usually going to be by shimming under the back end of the pedal. That's because that's where most of the wear occurs, or most of the compression occurs. And we have adjustments at the top of the pedal rod. And yes, if it's a new piano and you notice that adjustment nut at the top has kind of worked its way down, sure, yeah, go ahead and bring that back up to where it was originally and lock it in nice and tight. But other than that, on older pianos, what you want to go do is shim under the back end of the pedal. This is really an extreme case, and I think both of the other pedals need the same treatment. But it's this pad under here that's getting compressed over the years by the weight of the pedal. Okay, important point about regulating the pedal. Both the pedal and the keys should lift the dampers the same amount, resulting in separation between the damper felts and the strings of about 1/8 of an inch. With the pedal fully depressed, and first I'm going to show you this is the amount of separation that you should be looking for. So if your keys aren't lifting the dampers this high, then you need to adjust the damper lift with the keys, and then do it with the pedal. Once the pedal is regulated fully depressed, the dampers should just wink when you play the keys. Okay, and so you stop the motion of the damper trap lever. Usually there's a piece of felt here on Steinways. On a lot of other pianos, there will be a nice adjustment screw. So whatever it takes, you stop the travel of the pedal at the point where you get this effect. And here's a little video. So I've got the pedal pressed all the way down, and I'm going to play the keys now. And I want to see just a little winking. That indicates to me that the pedal is lifting the dampers the same amount as the keys. And you notice there's quite a bit of nice separation between the damper felts and the strings. That's exactly what you want to see. I want to talk a little bit about nomenclature, just so that when I say the name of a certain part, you'll know what I'm talking about. Because I know in our field, people call the different parts by a lot of different names. So very important part is the underlever down here. Another really important part is this vertical part called the top flange. So when I say top flange, this is what I'm talking about. The damper wire goes into the top flange, and in most cases, in modern pianos, it's secured there by a set screw. You also have the damper upstop rail. you have a sostenuto rod, which is right here, and the sostenuto monkey. Now, the last thing on that slide was when the sharps are fully depressed, there should be about a 1/16 of an inch of freedom at the damper upstock rail. And I have a little video here to show that. So you should be able to lift, and you want to be pressing down on a black key when you do that. This is actually a little bit excessive, I think, but you know, it's not rocket science. That's probably going up about 1/8 of an inch, but I go for a 1/16 of an inch, and that works fine. If you have too little, you're going to have problems. Now this is, I want to talk now about regulating the sostenuto pedal. This is a diagram which, in my experience, this is not exactly how you want to have this regulated. I've looked at a lot of diagrams in books and service manuals and everything, and I find that usually they have this, the sostenuto rod too low in relation to the tab. And okay, so the tab is this red thing down here. And on modern pianos, the tab is going to pivot. It's actually got an action center. So what you really want is to have the, and I'm going to first say this, there are 3 variables in regulating the sostenuto rod. The 3 variables are the height of the rod blade. It has to be slightly above the bottom of the top flange tab, and about 2 millimeters is right, or 1/16 of an inch. There's height, there's depth, and the depth, that is how close is that rod to the tab. You want that blade to be about 2 millimeters forward of the end of the tab. And then there's rotation. The blade should rotate, it should at rest should be about 7 o'clock and should rotate to 9 o'clock when it's fully engaged. So you can see it's at about 7 o'clock here at rest, and rotated, it ends up here. Now the problem with the way they have it in this diagram is that the tab is not far enough back. And I'll show you why that's a problem in a little bit. But anyway,